My name's JeremyGrundvig, and I've been working on this project for about a year now. I work for Crow Canyon Archaeological Center, which is in southwestern Colorado, and I'm going to be sharing the results of this 909 project, which is a surface hydrology study of an ancestral Puebloan Lakeview community. Get in here and make sure my slides are going to change. There you go. The San Juan Watershed is an important center of the ancestral Pueblo world, and it stretches across the modern states of Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona, and it has been the location of intense human activity for at least 9,000 years. The study area is situated along the eastern side of the Central Mesa Verde region, which stretches across southwestern Colorado into Utah. The research is focused on the Lakeview community, which has 4 great houses and at least 24 smaller habitation sites that range from the 8th century to the 13th century. The community is clustered around a stream as it opens from the canyons and into an alluvial fan. Primary research questions align with the Northern Chaco Outlier Project's goals, specifically to understand the human-environment relationships, such as if Northern Chacoan great houses are placed along floodplains to withstand environmental fluctuations, how the community's placement to the floodplain influences its residents, and the stream velocity and the community's local surface hydrology. The Lakeview community is located on an open, fertile plain at the bottom of a sub-watershed fed by narrow canyons with a variety of land cover and wildlife. Up canyon, intermittent streams running part of the year and ephemeral streams sitting above the water table exist. The headwaters are the highest elevation with the largest contributing source area to catch precipitation, the groundwater table being the greatest contributor to the presence of stream flow as it intersects with the stream. The watershed lies west of the La Plata Mountains, east of the Sleeping Ute Mountain, north of the Mesa Verde Escarpment, and south of the Dolores River. The EPA describes a watershed in holistic terms, encompassing the headwaters, side slopes, valley floor, water body, soils, minerals, native plants and animals, and raw material of all the human activity that may occur there. The Pueblo view of a watershed is a bit more holistic, describing the community and a watershed as synonymous. A Pueblo man describes, quote, the interconnectedness of all waterways with the landscape and how daily visits are important to become intimate with the understanding of the region, the rocks, animals, and plants, how the water flowed from the mountains and into the valleys. Here's an example of a tributary stream flow along Simon Jaw after a 2021 summer monsoon event. Because of the less dense nature of the Lakeview watershed's land cover, the environment provides for abundant through-flow moisture reaching the ground, resulting in less interception loss and sublimation. Properties within the soil have macropores and micropores transporting water at different rates to the stream. The Lakeview community lies in a region that is classified as a snow-dominated precipitation system. While the region does experience summer monsoons, total annual rainfall contributions to stream flow are typically small. As a result, moisture throughout the region is more dependent upon snowmelt rather than from summer monsoons. Due to the community's location on the windward side of the La Plata Mountains, the benefits of orographic lift is realized. Downstream, Simon Jaw is a perennial stream running year-round. Describing how water was managed, a Pueblo man stated, quote, our ancestors manipulated the landscape by placing rock structures for the harvesting of precipitation from the mountains all the way down to the bottomlands. These structures manipulated the landscape so that the land was used as a sponge, allowing moisture to reach the deep-rooted vegetation and also recharging the aquifers. Our ancestors managed the surface water into the groundwater, end quote. Evidence of water control systems exists throughout the ancestral Pueblo world with a possible reservoir at the Wallace site, multiple reservoirs at Mesa Verde, floodwater and small ditch irrigation at Aztec and Chaco Canyon, with check dams and terraces found throughout the region. This flow chart depicts the tools used within ArcGIS as well as tables detailing the digital elevation model data obtained from the United States Geological Survey. Geospatial research of the study area will delineate the watershed using 3 dim resolutions of 30 meters, 10 meters, and 1 meter. This slide depicts the tools and math used to establish the watershed. I suspect that the delineating the Lakeview watershed at differing resolutions will assist in understanding the community's placement on the landscape by helping to reveal where the most favorable conditions may have existed to control water, sediment runoff, best places to plant crops to avoid washout, while taking advantage of groundwater and soil moisture. Additionally, the effects of historic irrigation projects can be investigated further. The study area aims to define the watershed boundaries, stream network, and stream velocity of the Lakeview community, encompassing the Simon Draw and Cache Canyon drainages. The pour point or outlet has been established 6 kilometers southwest of the Wallace site. Working with multiple DEMs, I first merged them into a single raster and using the Mosaic to New Raster tool and ArcGIS. And this ensures that the ranges of all the DEMs are equal to provide an accurate analysis. The flow direction tool is executed next, which creates a layer indicating the direction in which water will flow into and out of each cell, with the darker colors showing a southerly flow and lighter colors indicating a northerly flow. The landscape surrounding the community consists of canals and irrigation ponds that redirect the flow of water and add man-made low points that can be detected by the DEM. A thorough understanding of the landscape is critical in order to differentiate natural features from errors in a data set. The fill tool identifies the sinks in the DEM to be removed, and a new DEM is created. All sinks identified are changed to have the elevation value of the lowest cell beside it, creating a continuous path of decreasing cells to the edge of the data set, allowing for an accurate hydrological analysis. After the sinks are removed, the watershed can be determined with a flow direction raster and an accurate outlet point. The flow direction tool is executed to create an intermediary layer for determining the watershed containing the normal 8 integers surrounding the cells. The outlet must be located precisely on the stream as rendered within the DEM itself. The watershed tool is used to determine the watershed area upstream of the pour point, creating a raster layer indicating where water is likely to accumulate, which is expressed as a numeric value based on the number of cells that flow into a single cell. Results demonstrate that the contributing source area for the watershed encompasses an area over 40 square kilometers. The slope tool utilizes the DEM and percent rise measurement option to calculate slope as a percentage of vertical elevation over horizontal elevation, creating the slope raster. The Raster Calculator tool next determines how fast water flows, creating a velocity field as a raster layer. The velocity field uses spatially variant and time and discharge invariant, while in reality, velocity and time is a discharge variant for a GIS environment. Using time and discharge invariant velocity fields provides an accurate result. The Raster Calculator tool was used again to calculate the unlimited velocity field using the recommended equations. The con tool sets a conditional statement that limits the velocity of the stream network. The results display the watershed velocity of the stream network for the Lakeview community with a lower limit of 0.02 meters per second and an upper limit of 2 meters per second. The average range of values which represent low impact to flood velocity. It appears the Lakeview community greathouses were intentionally placed along streams that had the potential to create high flow velocity. While this cannot conclude if it enabled the inhabitants an increased ability to withstand droughts, the area has favorable conditions to do so. Based on field excavations, residents may have indeed stayed within the community during the 1130 to 1180 drought. While the resolutions do not provide insight into specific farming techniques, it highlights how the local hydrology and topography creates a unique horticultural opportunity. The Lakeview community lies just south of the confluence of Cache Canyon and Simon Draw. The watershed contains 5 main tributaries above the community and a 6 that joins just below before it continues to McAlma Creek. The northern extent of the watershed is the divide with Lost Canyon, which flows into the Dolores River. The 10-meter delineation captures a larger contributing source area, and a higher elevation is likely due to modern canals connecting the watershed to several reservoirs to the northeast. This slide demonstrates the contributing source areas calculated by the 30 and 10-meter depths. The Lakeview community sits within a unique sub-watershed that marks a divide between the Colorado and San Juan River watersheds. And you can see here the larger piece in the northeast corner that was detected by the 10 and 1 meter depths. The 30-meter resolution cuts south east of its present course right around the Lakeview community. A visual inspection of the terrain makes it apparent that the lowest elevation and natural course likely cut through the path delineated by the 30-meter resolution. ArcGIS designates the 2 meters per second as the flow rate, which can create flood potential, and the flow velocity surrounding the community contains the potential to accumulate a flow rate of at least 2 meters per second. The stream is at maximal flow velocity while transecting the community along the open, fertile plain. The difference between a 30-meter and 10-meter dim in the Lakeview community highlights the rerouting of Simon Draw to a new straightened course, which is evident in a 10-meter delineation. The 1-meter dim results reveal smaller watercourses and tributaries emanating from each of the Great House sites. Springs are known to exist in the vicinity with reed vegetation on the north side of the Haney site, right along here, between the two great houses, and that's at the head of a middle cut that was identified in a 2019 report. The 1-meter delineation of the Wallace site shows what I presume to be the prehistoric channel just east of the Great House, with streams with significant stream flow potential near the identified reservoir. The 1-meter delineation of the Idagene Pueblo shows several streams emanating from around the site. With the Pueblo located near the top of the watershed's western ridge, it is conceivable that the source of these streams may have been springs. The site sits on private property, making further research difficult. The minimum elevation of the watershed is 1,875 meters, with the maximum elevation at 2,265 meters. The alluvial fan surrounding the community is at a prime elevation for maize production. The deposition received from the contributing source area is provided by the canyons, large ridge to the north, and lowest soils blowing in from Arizona. The results of the heat map demonstrate a sharp decrease in elevation before the canyon system opens into an alluvial fan surrounding the community. The land immediately downstream has a minimal drop in elevation, creating a wetland estuary. The results of the velocity layer overlaid on the slope layer leads me to suspect that the community was a prime agricultural area due to a natural choke point which exists between the Haney and Idagene sites, among other favorable geologic and hydrologic conditions. I infer that this was a prime location to take advantage of runoff for water to be controlled. The photos on the left show the outlines of the prehistoric stream beds as wide as 20 meters and heavily incised. The photos on the right are portions of the stream which have been rerouted through a canal and are much narrower, only 3 to 8 meters across. Simon Draw's new stream route contrasts extensively with prehistoric sections. Simon Draw consists of perennial streams in the valleys surrounding the Lakeview community. The cutoff prehistoric stream route is still an intermittent perennial course. However, the land continues to be utilized extensively for agriculture, adding to the groundwater recharge. The 30-meter delineation coupled with the slope layer provides further evidence to support the hypothesis that the stream cuts south east of where it presently turns course. The results indicate that the community's great houses are placed along the floodplain in areas of high flow velocity and sediment deposition. So in conclusion, the Lakeview community sits within a geographical zone with a surface hydrologic environment adapted for agriculture. The location's prime elevation for maize production, boundary on the northern San Juan watershed and leeward side of the San Juan Mountains, combined with the alluvial floodplain, creates an ideal hydrological and topographical horticultural opportunity in the region. The low-lying delta of tributaries within the alluvial floodplain downstream consists of wetlands, providing an additional local hydrological opportunity. Delineating the watershed at differing resolutions revealed ideal locations around the Lakeview community to control water and sediment runoff and revealed the large contributing source area recharge zone. The canyons upstream from the community can support terrace and check dams, while the valley is optimal to take advantage of precipitation events. It can be surmised that this community was intentionally placed along a specific segment of Simon Draw within the alluvial fan to take advantage of several hydrological and topographic conditions, including flow velocity, elevation, and sediment deposition. I have included several links here to learn more about the research at Crow Canyon and the Lakeview community, and that concludes my presentation. So I'm happy to take any questions now.